Good morning, good evening, everyone. This is a session for Indian Geography, second section of day. So I'm going to discuss about the Indian section of prelim section. Particularly, the focus will be prelims area, and hope this section will be useful for you. Let's begin. We have Indian Geography. First of all, before I'm going to begin the section, I'm going to tell you about the content area, what we are going to discuss in coming days. The first section I will discuss about the general geography of India, a physical section, and the second one we'll like to discuss about the human and economic aspect of India. Sometimes we feel that there must be the regional analysis of India so that we can have the depth of understanding of a geographical area. So let's begin. The first section is Indian Geography, and I have taken the first chapter for discussion, that is India size and location. So for the discussion, I would like to go for the discussion of India size and location. So write the topic India size and location. So in basic topic, you will find this topic in NCERT also, in class 9th also, class 11th also, and in DR Khuller, anywhere. This topic is broadly elaborated and you have a very good source everywhere. I would like to analyze how we can go for preparation of prelims for India size and location. Got it? So go for first location aspect. The first thing is location aspect. Location, once you analyze the location, there can be different type of location for a country, for a particular area. So we can say it can be geometrical location, geopolitical location, and location of political area. Got that? So first of all, know these three terms. Geometrical location means the location of place in the term of latitude and longitude. So what's the location of India in term of latitude and longitude? And when we realize the location in the term of both parallel lines and also horizontal line, you can say in term of latitude, longitude. The second is geopolitical location, means it is a location on the world map in terms of geopolitics, like South Asia, Southeast Asia, or West Asia, like this. Got that? So third is political location, reference to neighbor countries. We have South Asian countries, and how we can analyze the state of India for analyzing the question related to prelims. So let's go for one by one. The location of India, the first thing, that is geopolitically and also related to political aspect. Suppose I have drawn this map of India. This is the Indian map, and try to locate this area like this. This is a rough map of India, but it can give you a very detailed aspect of Indian location. See this area, you have a 0 degree, or you can say this is the area, the south of India, and this is the area of coastal India. And the second area, this is the area of land frontier India. Frontiers. So we are discussing about the political location of India. Just try to focus. If you have notebook, you can go for writing the details with your atlas. So I have divided India into two parts. The first is a land frontier of India, or you can say subcontinental India, and the second is coastal India. So you can say it is the area of coastal region of India or peninsular India. So write the political area of India can be classified into two groups. The first area is peninsular India and the second area is subcontinental India. आप अगर देखें तो भारत का उत्तरी क्षेत्र एक प्रायद्वीपीय महाद्वीपीय क्षेत्र है और दक्षिणी भाग एक प्रायद्वीपीय क्षेत्र है. So northern section is subcontinental and the southern section is peninsular. Now we are going to analyze the both section, peninsular section and northern section. Got that? So the first is peninsular India and second is subcontinental India. Now write southern area in detail. This is a map from Gujarat to Bengal, and this is the area we can say it is peninsular India. So peninsular India is surrounded by ocean from three sides. So this area you have Bay of Bengal, this area you have Arabian Sea, and the division point for Indian Ocean is Kanyakumari. The south of Kanyakumari is Indian Ocean, and the east of that is Bay of Bengal, and west of that area is named as Arabian Sea. So Kanyakumari is a tri-junction point in the south of India. So write this one, peninsular India. In peninsular India we have 9 states and 5 UTs. 9 states and 5 UTs of India. It means among the states of India, 9 states of India have coastal boundaries, and also the 5 UTs of India have the same number of same area as a coastal area. So from Gujarat to Bay of Bengal or the Bengal section, we have 9 states and 5 UT have a common coastal boundary from Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and the southern section is Indian Ocean. So this is the area, division point we can say as a Kanyakumari is a tri-junction area. So you may have written about the 9 states and 5 UTs of India. Now I am going to the second section here, right? Second section means we are going to discuss about the location of India in this sense that we can find the name, original name of coastal India. See, this is the area of peninsula, and this area has 6100 kilometer, the length of coastal area as a part of peninsular India. Suppose this area is Andaman Nicobar and this one is Lakshadweep. These are two separate islands in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. If you include the coastal area of these two islands, it is 7,516 kilometers. So it is included area of Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep. The mainland has 6,100 kilometer area. So there are two different terms now. The coastal area of peninsular India and the second one, the coastal area of island of India plus peninsular India. If you include both these things, it will be 7,516 kilometers. So write in the notes, the first thing, the total length of coastal area of India is 6,100, and the total length of coastal length of India, including coastal area plus island of India, is 7,516 kilometers. So see, these are the basic information, but vital information for any OPT examination, right? So we have the length of coastal area. Now we can discuss this area as a regional names. Now see this area in a coastal area, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, a regional name of coastal region of India. As we start from Gujarat to south, we have different name for the coastal region of India. So here we'll find Konkan coast. This is the area Konkan coast. So from Maharashtra to Goa, the area is named as Konkan coast. The complete area of Karnataka, we have the second one, that is area of Kannad coast. Kannad coast. And the third area, Kerala, we have a Malabar coast. So find we have three different section of regional section of coastal area. From north to south we can arrange Konkan coast, a Kannad coast and Malabar coast from Maharashtra to Kerala. If you go to the eastern section, you will find this one is a Coromandel, and above a Coromandel you will find northern Sarkar, or you can say Uttari Sarkar. It is also named as the Utkal coast of India. So you can write the coastal division of India as a coastal region of India from the western section and eastern section. So right there, the coastal region of India has been classified into 5 sections regionally. अगर प्रदेश के आधार पर देखें तो भारत के तटीय प्रदेश को 5 भागों में बांटा गया है. We have the first one from Maharashtra to Kerala, Maharashtra to Goa, that is named as Konkan coast. So पहले तट को महाराष्ट्र से जो गोवा तक का तट है, it is named as Konkan coast. Then we have the second section of coastal area of India, that is Kannad coast. It is a coastal region of Karnataka. Then the third one, it is the area of Kerala, and this region is named as Malabar coast. Now if you go to the eastern side of India, you have 2 sections of coastal region. One is named as Uttari Sarkar and second is Coromandel. Now find out the section from where it is. So from Kerala to mid of Andhra Pradesh is named as Coromandel coast, and from mid of Andhra Pradesh to Odisha is named as Uttari Sarkar. So these are the coastal region of India. We can say the 5 sections from Gujarat to Bay of Bengal or West Bengal. So this section is a generally informative area for you as a general section coastal area of India. Now see in this area or the section of India, we find sometimes they ask you which state of India has the largest coastline as a general information in all the objective examination. So if you see, this is the curve area and the largest coastline is of Gujarat and followed by Andhra Pradesh. So these two states have long coastal area. Gujarat has a curved coastline, so Gujarat ranked first and followed by Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh ranks second in terms of length of coastal area. So longest coastline of India is of Gujarat, and the state is followed by Andhra Pradesh. So got it very clearly. So this was the analysis in South India. We can go for further discussion about the South Indian section. Now see in this area you have one country, a small country here, that is Sri Lanka, and in between you have this Gulf of Mannar, and then division point between here, between India and Sri Lanka is Pak Strait. L is silent, Pak Strait. So the natural boundary between Sri Lanka and India is named as Pak Strait. So here we can mention in the southeastern part of India, there is a natural boundary between India and Sri Lanka. It is named as Pak Strait. So these are the basic things I have discussed about the coastal length and also the location of division point. Now I'm coming to the southern section, the peninsular section and the islands of India. After this peninsular section, you find here in the east of peninsular India, we have Andaman Nicobar Island, and the western section we have Lakshadweep. So इन दोनों चीज़ को आप एनालाइज करें, एक ब्रॉडली एनालाइज करें तो आप देखेंगे कि ये एरिया आपके लिए लॉजिकली यूजफुल हो सकता है फॉर लोकेशन पर्पस. सो हियर विल फाइंड द टोटल configuration of Andaman Nicobar Island, and we can find out the island location and their significance. You have North Andaman, Middle Andaman, South Andaman and Little Andaman as a group of Andaman Island. As you go south of that, you will find Car Nicobar, Little Nicobar and Greater Nicobar. So we are here to analyze the location of Andaman Nicobar as a part of South Indian study area. So we can name it as a North Andaman, Middle Andaman, South Andaman, Little Andaman. Then we have Car Nicobar, Little Nicobar and Greater Nicobar. So you can level the location of this island once you start. For beginners, it is a massive area of visualization. Once you begin to visualize the map of India and location, then you can add more information related to your purpose, prelims purpose. So see, I have analyzed the location of some tribal community for prelims examination this year. If you have the location of island very clear, then you can put the location of island, tribal communities, physical location very correctly. So go for, this one is a North Andaman, this one is Middle Andaman, South Andaman and Little Andaman. Now if you go for the largest island of India, out of these islands, you will find Middle Andaman is the largest island of India in terms of area. So you will find so this area will find the Middle Andaman is the largest island in terms of geographical area of Indian island. Now you see this area here. This is a division point in Andaman Nicobar area. This one is 10-degree channel. You have 10-degree channel, and above that you will have one more channel. It is named as a Duncan Pass. Duncan Pass or 10-degree channel. Sometimes they ask you a question related to the location of particular division point or separation point. So Andaman and Nicobar is separated by 10-degree channel, and South Andaman and Little Andaman is separated by Duncan Pass. So you write the information related to the Andaman section. Now in Andaman section we have two more basic information of location. Here you will find one island and the second one also. This one is a barren island. This one is Narkundam Island. In the northeastern part of Middle Andaman, we have active volcano of India. Only one active volcano of India, that is named as Barren Island. And one extinct volcano, or you can say dead volcano, in the northeastern section of Andaman Nicobar is named as Narkundam Island. That is Narkundam Island. So Narkundam Island is extinct volcano, and Barren Island is active volcano. So this is the discussion about the northern section of Andaman Nicobar. You can see North, Middle, South and Little Andaman. So between South Andaman and Little Andaman you have the division of a separation point that is named as Duncan Pass. And if you go southern section, you have Car Nicobar, Little Nicobar, and Greater Nicobar. So in this section of Greater Nicobar, the last point is Indira Point. Every person knows the last point of India, the end point is named as Indira Point. Now let me clear about here. See, it was devastated by tsunami wave in 2004 there, and after that it is reconstructed. Still the southern point of India is Indira Point, and the old name, it is named after a person, or you can say a leader of India, named as Indira Point. Earlier it was named as Pygmalion Point. Pygmalion is Roman goddess, and in old time Indira Point used to be known as Pygmalion Point, right? So it is a information area related to the island of India, Andaman Nicobar. So got it very clearly, the southeastern section of Andaman Nicobar, we have number of island, and there are information you can remember as the Duncan Pass, 10-degree channel, Indira Point. These are the area to remember. Narkondam Island. Now see, in this area we have Arabian Sea, and here also we can remember some of the information related to Lakshadweep. So this area we have in Arabian Sea, the islands of India, that is Lakshadweep. So Lakshadweep before 1973, it was not Lakshadweep, Lakshadweep, and it was named in 1973 as the island of India. So here we'll find Minikai, Kavaratti, Amandeep. These are the major three islands. Otherwise, the total island is 36 island in Andaman Nicobar. Here we'll find a 9-degree channel. There are two channels here. One is a 9-degree channel and one is 8-degree channel. In Andaman Nicobar, we have 10-degree channel and Duncan Pass. Here, one is 8-degree channel and one is 9-degree channel. Try to remember here. Here you have one neighbor country in the south of Arabian Ocean, and this country is named as Maldives. So there is a separation point between Maldives and India is named as 8-degree channel. It is named as 8-degree channel. And there is a division point between Kavaratti and Amandeep in Lakshadweep Island. That is named as a 9-degree channel. So in Indian Ocean, there are some of the channels or line we have to remember for our prelims purpose. The first is Duncan Pass. Second, you have 10-degree channel. Then you have 9-degree channel and 8-degree channel as the basics of our prelim section. So in physical section, in physical India, we will discuss about the location of, physical location of this island. Here we are only discussing the location of, basic location of, political location of this island. Got that? So far I have discussed about the southern section of India, peninsular India, the major section is the coastal region and islands of India. Now come to northern section. Suppose this is part of India, then this is a Vindhyachal range. Sometime we think about which mountain separating the northern section and southern section of India. So Vindhyachal range is considered to be the division of northern India and southern India. South of Vindhyachal is South India, and the north of Vindhyachal is the part of North India. Got that? Now, I am telling you the detail of North Indian section. In North Indian section, we can draw the map from Rajasthan to Jammu Kashmir to Himachal, Uttarakhand, northeast, the part of this area. So this is a section named as Continental India. Continental India. As I used in the beginning of class, there are two parts of India. First is continental India in the south part, and in southern section there is a peninsular India. So peninsular India is a section I have discussed so far. In continental India we have the area from Punjab, Gujarat, Kashmir to whole of northeast, and total length of this area is 17,200 kilometers. As the length of South India is 7,516 kilometers, the length of North Continental India, which has a land frontier, is around 7,200 kilometers. So write the information related to the northern section. The land frontier of India is 15,000, not 17,000, 15,200 kilometers. Not 17,000, it's the wrong one. 15,200 kilometers. Got it very clearly. Now we have a different thing. After a creation of UTs, you can say. Now the 16 states of India, earlier used to be 17 states of India had international boundaries. Now we have 16 states of India has international boundaries as a land frontier, as there is a separation of, partition of some northern states of India. Got that? So in that case, we'll write that there are 16 states of India have land frontiers. Like 9 states of India have coastal boundary. In the same way, 16 states of India have land frontier, and it is around 15,200 kilometers. Now we have to find out the border area and the analysis of states of India. You must write in your notebook wherever you are, where you are learning this section, doing this section. Now see, you have this area of Jammu and Kashmir. This is the part of Rajasthan and Gujarat. Then you have one neighbor country here. So we are discussing about the state of India sharing the boundary with neighbor countries, right? So in this area we will have different states of India near the border of our neighbor countries. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the border with Pakistan. So in Pakistan region, you have the state of India, Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat. All these 4 states share the boundary with Jammu Kashmir, boundary with Pakistan, and these states are from north to south: Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat. Now see, this boundary is whenever you discuss the boundaries, the area, you have the line between India and Pakistan is named as a Red Cliff Line. In Kashmir, some of the area you will find the dots, and it is named as LOC, a line of control. And here we will find in Gujarat, in southern section of Gujarat, there is a Sar Creek area, Kori Creek area, some of the disputed area also. It has been resolved by the government by the efforts of boundary dispute, solving boundary dispute. So the boundary line between India and Pakistan is named as Red Cliff Line. It is in Kashmir it is named as Red Cliff Line. Got that? Right there. On the northwestern part of India, there are 4 states of India share the boundary with Pakistan, and these states are Jammu Kashmir, after that Punjab, J&K, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat. Now see, the states of India, when we name, now Jammu Kashmir has a different 2 parts as a UTs. So there we can name the regions of UT there. So this is the western section of India. Now I am coming to the next border of India in northeastern section. See, you have, this is a map of northeast. It's very easy to remember and also to draw. Nice to draw the map of northeastern India. It is a farthest northeastern region. So better to draw this area. You have this one Sikkim, this one Arunachal, then Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Meghalaya, and you have Assam. These are the 8 states of northeastern India. Once you see the border area, it will be the border of, here it will be the border of our neighbor country that is named as Myanmar. और in earlier हम इसे बर्मा कहा करते थे, right? Myanmar used to be Burma. Getting this one, Burma, you know, Burma separated from India in 1936. Before 1936, this country used to be the part of India, and after that, this country separated from India, and now we have some states of India share the boundary with Burma. इसमें से जो राज्य हैं भारत के उत्तर पूर्व में वो बर्मा के साथ बाउंड्री शेयर करते हैं. You can remember like this. See how analytical they are asking a question. First of all, you arrange the state from north to south: Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. These are the states of India sharing boundary with Myanmar. Suppose they ask you which state of India, northeastern India, has the longest boundary with Myanmar. Getting this one, the which state of India has the longest boundary with Myanmar, then in this type of question you always remember the size of a state. Among the states, which state has the longest area as a length of a boundary, then we can judge Arunachal will have the longest boundary with Myanmar. Got that? So right there in the northeastern section of India, the 4 states of India share the boundary with Myanmar, and these are Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, and Tripura. Out of these 4 states, the longest boundary is of Arunachal Pradesh. So Arunachal has the longest boundary with Myanmar. Near the border area, we'll find one mountain here. Try to understand the location here. This area you have mountain. This is a mountain area on the eastern area. And this mountain is a natural boundary between India and Myanmar, or you can say India and Burma, old Burma you can say. So this mountain is Arakan Yoma. Arakan Yoma. So the natural boundary between India and Myanmar is Arakan Yuma mountain. Got that? So you can remember this information like doing the analysis in this way. Got that? Arakan Yuma is a natural boundary between India and Myanmar. Okay, so we have done 2 neighbor countries of India. First is Pakistan, second Myanmar. Now come to next one. In next one you have, this is map of India, and we are going to analyze the northern section of India. We have this country as in Nepal, right? Now we have to find out which country or which states of India has a common boundary with Nepal as a prelims analysis. So we can name the state by drawing this area. This state, this one, then you have some part of Sikkim and West Bengal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these states of India share the boundary with Nepal. Now the main points here. One river is here. This river is named as a Kali river. And also in India it is also named as a Sarda river. It is a natural boundary between Nepal and India in the western section of India. So the natural boundary between India and Nepal is Kali river, or you can say Sarda river. आप इसे सारदा रिवर या काली नदी किसी नदी के रूप में जान सकते हैं. So this area. Now you come to the next section. We have the longest land frontier of India, and here we will find this area of this one is Bangladesh. See, in the eastern area we have Bangladesh, and if you move around like this, clockwise or anti-clockwise, you can remember the name of states sharing the boundary with Bangladesh. So if you find there on the western section, it is West Bengal. The western section is there. Then you have the area of Assam. Then you have the area of Meghalaya. We are going clockwise. The first West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya. Then in the eastern section you will find Tripura. So these are the states here, the boundary with Bangladesh, and India has the longest boundary with Bangladesh as an international land frontier. So we have done so far the neighbor countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Nepal. We have a small border area with Bhutan. In Bhutan, you will find one side Arunachal Pradesh, one side is a part of Sikkim. Got it? And at the southern section, we have the part of northeastern states. So in this way, we are to analyze the location of northeastern India or the neighbor country as a geopolitical location. Got that? So the first session, I have discussed about the political location of India in reference to the neighbor country of India. The first is peninsular India, and second northern India. So you may have written all the details related to both area. Now coming to next area, that is a geometrical location. Geometrical location. The first was political location of India, and the second is geometrical location of India. Now find out the basics of. See, you have this globe. This is globe. If you see this globe, you can find the location of equator and pole area. It is the northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. If you draw the line of longitude, it will be eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere. India is located here. So there can be a common question, a general question, on the globe, the location of India is where, in which direction? So it is, the location is in northeastern part of globe. India is located in northeastern part of globe, in northeastern section, latitudinally in northern latitude, and longitudinally eastern longitude. So see this area you have as a map of India like this. So India begins at 8 degree 4 minute latitude in the south, and the last is 37 degree latitude. Here you have 68 degree latitude, and eastern area we have 97 degree latitude in general, right? And in between the division point is there, that is 82.5. So 82.5 is considered as the standard meridian of India. It is dividing India into equal part, so it is also considered for a time zone in India. It is crossing through Allahabad, Naini area. So India considered as a standard time of India, the common time for all the people of India for northern section and southern section. Now I'm coming to the point, this area, about the calculation of time in India and in general. Now I'm telling you 82.5 is a standard meridian of India. Then this is considered as a time for a time calculation. Here it is 97 degree, it is 68 degree. Then the difference of east and west is around 30 degree latitude. So in general, I would like to go for the time calculation because it is a part of this chapter also. we can go for separate discussion of latitude, longitude. But here, I want to give you why time is calculated in India from Allahabad and how it is calculated. So see, I'm going for a basic discussion here. Suppose you have this area as a globe, right? As a whole globe. So in this area you have one line coming from north to south. A line coming from north to south like this. A line coming from north to south like this. So this line is named as longitude. Longitude. So the line from north to south are named as longitude. In basic, this area you have one D or this type of D, and by drawing this area we can find out the angles from both sides. So the total number of angle from this area will be 180, and total number of angle on the western area will be 180 plus 180. So total number of angle will be 360. On a circle, in a particular circle, you will find number of angle total 360. So number of longitude are total 360 angle. So these are named as longitude or the lines from north to south. If you want to define this area, it can be actual, the angular distance from great meridian. So suppose Earth is rotating from this area west to east. Earth rotates from west to east. So when Earth rotates, it takes 4 minutes to cover one longitude. In the rotation of Earth, it takes 4 minutes to cover one longitude. Now, if total longitudes are 360, if you multiply with 4, it will be total time of 1 day. So one longitude 4 minutes. The total number of longitude are 360. Then it will be 360 into 4. It will be the total time of day, right? Now, as Earth is rotating from west to east, it is very useful to calculate the time of particular area or time of particular country. As Earth is rotating from west to east, it is easy to calculate the time. It will be sun-facing area, and as we go westward, the time will be minus. So for as a formula basis, so far what I have discussed, total number of longitude are 360. Its time is 4 minutes to cover one longitude, and in actual time we will find actual surface distance is 111 kilometer between two longitude. Got it very clearly? So between two longitude we will have 111 kilometer as a surface distance. As a time distance it will be 4 minutes. Got it? Now we have to find out the distance on the surface of India and the time distance between East and West India. See, you have this location, you have Arunachal and Gujarat, and the difference is 30 degree. 97 or 68, in point it will be 30 degree. So if you multiply 30 into 4, it will be 120 minutes is equal to 2 hours. Now, in general, once you are going eastward, we add time. As we go westward, we reduce the time per longitude. Getting this one? Now I am giving you a very simple question related to this. You can solve from here. Suppose we are here in this area. Go for one particular map area. You have this location. Find out this location. Suppose we are here in Delhi. It is 12 o'clock in a day, a daytime. And we are here in Karachi. here the longitude difference is around 7 degree between Bharat and Pakistan or India and Pakistan. The longitude difference is around 7 degree. There may be more than 7 degree. I assume 7 degree, right? So we have to find out what will be the time in Karachi city, at Karachi city. So in India, 12 o'clock, what will the time in Karachi? So for this purpose, what I will do, 7 into 4 is equal to 28. So I will like to reduce the time from 12. So it will be 11:32. Got that? So whenever we are going eastward, we add the time, and whenever we go westward, we reduce the time per longitude. So in this way we can find out the time of eastern part also. Got that? So this is the chapter, first chapter of India, related to the location and size of India, right? So far I have discussed about the southern section and northern section of India, and also related to the time calculation between the states of India and the Indian Standard Time also. Now we find out the other parallel of India as a geometrical location. आप उसको देख सकते हैं. Now जहाँ तक बात है हिंदी में क्लास अवेलेबल है और हिंदी में भी इस क्लास को किया जा रहा है. You can join for Hindi medium also. I am here for English medium. I am discussing the areas related to English, and the section in every day. The first session I am taking for world geography, that is a regional or principle of geography, and the second session I am taking Indian geography area, right? So mainly the question and discussion is related to the prelim section mainly. So we are going to tackle about the section of prelims area, and particularly UPPCS. The focus is UPPCS. So students, so far we are discussing the area of India, a major part of India, as a location and size of India. So the first section, size or location is okay. Now if you see the size of India, India is a large country. This country contributes 2.4% of geographical area, and 16% of world population. Sometimes they ask you about the size of Indian states and their location. So these are the very general facts. Largest state of India, the descending order, ascending order. So these are the, suppose they ask you the largest state of India, it's Rajasthan, earlier used to be MP. The smallest state of India we have Goa, and in terms of population Sikkim. So these are the facts, again we'll discuss in population section. So this is the very basic topic for general study, GS section, location and size of India. So in the first section I have discussed about Asian countries, West Asian countries, particularly Gulf countries, West Asia. These were the main discussion areas. Now come to the major section of, second section of your chapter, your syllabus. It is also the part of Indian geography, and this is the area of physical India. Physical India, or you can say face of India. Physical India means what I'm telling you. Suppose I'm telling you the face of India means face like you have on your face, there are different organs like eyes, nose, lips, like this. On the face of India we have different topography, mountains, plateaus, plain, lakes, rivers. So we are going to discuss about face of India in the term of physiography of India. So go for detail, because see this year they have asked many of questions, at least 2 questions from face of India in first chapters. They are asked, I'm giving you the 2 questions they asked in this year about the location of, from this chapter. They asked about the location of Kashmir Valley. this area. They asked about the Kashmir Valley is located between which two mountains, right? So they have given Himadri and Pir Panjal. Here they have not used a greater Himalaya. In place of greater Himalaya, they have used Himadri as a discussion, right? You're talking about BPSC, Aditya Kumar. BPSC, there is a course. You can discuss, you can call to people or in office. You can find out the course related to BPSC. So now we can see, I'm giving you the first question related to the topography of India. They asked the location of Kashmir Valley. It is located between which two mountains? Normally, the answer should be Greater Himalaya and Pir Panjal, but they have used different name. In place of Greater Himalaya, they use Himadri as a name, right? Now, after that, they use geologically the places there. Suppose they have given the name of mountain here. They have used Aravalli, Himadri, and Vindhyachal range. These ranges, which one is a new range of India? Every person knows Himalaya is a new folded mountain. So the answer will be from this section. Now for incoming year 2021, our coming examination, we are going to analyze the physical surface of India, how we can solve all the questions related to this chapter, right? So go for the discussion of physiography of India, and it will be better to draw a map first, right? For physiography of India, draw map with free hand, right? Suppose I have drawn this map like this. Suppose I have drawn this map. By drawing this map, we can remember the place because we can feel the location, visualize the location, and it will be easy to locate the area. You can use outline map also. Now see, for the purpose of making image, we can go for the naming of area, A section. Now you have a B area. Now you have C area. Then you have D area, E area, and F area. See, this is a very basic need for preparing prelims examination. We should have very clear idea about the image of India. अगर आप prelims clear करने जा रहे हैं, तो आपके पास सबसे पहले जरूरत होनी चाहिए कि आप इंडिया के जितने भी areas हैं, उसकी image clear हो. Right? Image means you can visualize the section of India, a physical section of India through maps. So you don't remember the things, don't go for mugging up daily. Once you have make a clear image of India, the location is clear, you can remember for long time, right? So I'm telling you, the first area of India is northern mountain. This one is northern mountain. This is A region. Now the second area you have northern plain. Northern plain. This is the second section of India, that is northern plain area. Now we have the C area is a peninsular plateaus. Peninsular plateaus. Or you can say Pradvipiya Bharat. Peninsular plateaus means Pradvipiya Bharat. This one is Eastern Ghat and Western Ghat. In generally we are using Purbi Ghat, Pasmi Ghat, or you can say Eastern Ghat, Western Ghat. And then we use islands of India, भारत का द्वीप समूह. इस प्रकार हम 6 भागों में बांट सकते हैं. We can classify the whole of map of India or physical surface of India into 6 different regions. Then go for detailed study of that area. See, study class also I have emphasized the meaning of regional study and how we can go for regional study. First of all, you define a region, then go for the different aspect of that region. What's the different aspect? It takes a long time to feel the concept, right? Different aspect means suppose you go for the northern mountain area, then you go for the detail of topics related to northern mountain area. Now, how we can solve all the questions related to these section of physiography of India? Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, I have given you the 5 points related to the regions. The first vital area is origination. Origination itself tells about the geology of that area or the age of that area. So first thing you always remember among the topography of India, the geology of that or the origination of that area, how that landform evolved or originated. अगर आपको निर्माण याद है तो आपने देखा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, इसमें से कौन सा सबसे नया पर्वत है आपसे पूछा गया. So you must know the origination of particular topography. Now the second thing you also know how the topography is. How means the description of that area. Description means the major character of that area, like if you go for a mountain of India, you will find passes, peaks, a glacier, this type of things. It means a description of that area. That is a how sense. And the third area, you will remember about the use and application of that area. So for this purpose, we are going to elaborate one particular section today. I will take only one section today for detailed study. In half an hour time, we'll elaborate the section of one part of India. So I will request all of you to write the details in your notebook and to find out whether these discussions are useful for you. Can you solve all these questions by going through the contents of this class? Then this class is meaning for you, meaningful for all of you, and can be useful for your examination also. So go for one particular section, right? I'm going to discuss about the first section, that is Plain of India. Plain of India. अगर कहें तो भारत का मैदानी भाग. Now in all this section we like to try to discuss the origination section, a feature section like this. So first of all, say the plain of India, a location, the location of plain of India, you have the mountain area, then you have lower surface, then plateaus. So plain of India is located between mountain and plateaus. So it is a level surface or lowland area located between mountains and plain. How it was originated, try to find out. This plain was originated by a tectonic force first, tectonics, and second by deposition. Try to find out how this mountain, this plain of India originated. The first factor was tectonic force, and the second, the depositional force there. Try to find out this area. You have this mountain. This was the area of Eurasian plate and Indo-Australian plate. If these two areas collided, then in between, it has created the trough area or the lowland area. So it was a tectonic force created the lowland area between Indo-Australian plate and Eurasian plate. In between there was a deposition of sediment from both sides, and it has created the thick deposit of a plain of India. More than 100 meters of deposits is there from Punjab to Assam. So this area is known for depositional plain, or the character is named as, it is one of the largest depositional plain on the surface of Earth, right? So we can say plain of India is a result of tectonic force and also the depositional force. One is tectonic force, second is a depositional force. Now find out the how it is, means the character of that. So first of all, go for the features of plains of India, means character of plain of India, how we can go for. So we can remember the places or features like this. So I'm giving you the general view about the plain of India. First, in a northwestern section, or we can say a northwestern section of plain of India. I go for northwestern section. If you have your pencil, your work notebook, you can write there. See this area, you have Jammu Kashmir area again. Here you have Punjab. And here we'll find the river is coming from this area and it is named as Satluj. Satluj is a southern river there. And after that we'll find one river that is Beas, Ravi, Chenab, Jhelum, and then you have Indus River. So I have created or I have drawn in the northwestern section the top area. Actually it is in a bottom, it is handmade map. So even in that condition we can visualize the plain of India and their doabs, right? So what I'm telling you, you give your attention here. Satluj, Beas, Ravi, Chenab, Jhelum and Sindhu. These are the 6 rivers of northwestern part. And in between this river, you will find the deposits of sediment. Deposition brought by river named as deposits or alluvial from Trans-Himalayan. We'll discuss it. Trans-Himalayan means I'm giving you, suppose this one is Himalaya and the river coming from beyond of Himalaya, then it is named as Trans-Himalaya. Suppose I'm drawing the map here for your purpose. Suppose this one is Himalayan section. So the 2 rivers of India here coming from the beyond Himalayan region, north of Himalayan region, like you have Satluj and Sindhu in northwestern section are named as Trans-Himalayan region. Got that? So Trans-Himalayan means beyond Himalaya. Now I am coming to the discussion of this class particularly. A river we'll discuss later on. So this area will have doab or deposit. The deposit between the river is named as doab. So the first character of plain of India is the location of doab. In the northwestern section there are 5 doabs between 5 rivers of India. And the geographer has given the name according to the first alphabet of river. If you join together, see, if you join together the first alphabet of river, it will the name of doab in northwestern region. Try to listen here. Suppose you have Satluj, yes, B that is Beas. Then the first doab is Bist doab. Bist, the first alphabet of Beas and the first alphabet of Satluj, it becomes Bist doab. So Bist doab is located between Satluj and Beas. Now second you see, you have B and R. B of Beas and R of Ravi. Then this doab is named as Bari doab. Bari doab. So we are going from south to north. Getting this one? हम लोग जो हैं दक्षिण से उत्तर की ओर जा रहे हैं. सो दक्षिण में जो है वो है आपका बिस्त दोआब. बिस्त में हिंदी का एक शब्द आया बी ब्यास और सतलज ब्यास, दोनों मिलाकर हो गया बिस्त दोआब. सो see, I'm telling you one thing, very special thing about the language of India and particularly examination. So English is language for your examination. Hindi is a language for your communication. In all India level, whenever we are going to discuss about the use of language, so sometimes English help us for passing examination, and it is a language for some higher examination also, right? So it is good to know both languages, Hindi plus English, one international language, one national language, and it is very useful in every sphere of life. So it is one thing that we should know English, we should also know Hindi also, right? So both languages will help you in a higher level. So don't to stick to one place, knowing Hindi or knowing English. You should know both languages, and it will help you everywhere. Got that, Sweta? So I'm telling you, knowing Hindi is good, and knowing English is also a plus point for your personality and or preparation. Got that? So anyway, I'm coming to my point right there. So the viewers were there. So here you have the first Doab in the south there, that is a Beast Doab. Then you have Bari Doab. It is the first alphabet of Vyas and Rabi. Then you have R and C. That's Rabi and Chenab, collectively known as Rachna Doab. Rachna, R from Rabi and C from Chenab, it becomes Rachna Doab. Now we have Chenab and Jhelum, so collectively known as Jaj Doab. And then lastly you have Sindhu Sagar Doab. So in the northwestern part of India, we have number of rivers, and between the rivers there is deposits brought by the river from Himalayan section, and due to this deposit there are number of Doab, 5 major Doab you can arrange with me from south to north, right? अगर हम दक्षिण से उत्तर की ओर उसको अरेंज करें इन सारे द्वाब को, तो आप देख सकते हैं इन द साउथ वी हैव बीस्ट द्वाब, देन वी हैव बाड़ी द्वाब, रचना द्वाब, जाच द्वाब, एंड देन फाइनली यू हैव सिंधु सागर द्वाब. इन सभी द्वाब को एक विजुलाइज करें, एक इमेज बनाएं, और अच्छा होगा कि आफ्टर माई सेशन you draw the map, locate all the Doab area, and then find out why those Doabs named by using the alphabet of first word or first alphabet of different rivers. Got that? So you got the correct sequence of Doab in India from south to north. Got that? Okay, very good. We can go to further area. So this is the first discussion I brought for the northwestern part of Indian plain. Now see what we can do. This is the area we are moving from Punjab to Assam. I have covered this area, the part of Punjab, Haryana, and some part of Pakistan also. So there are 5 Doabs, the part of Indus River and its tributaries. Now I'm coming to this area discussing the features of plain of India. It's better to go for the lines here. Suppose you have line, and from mountain to plain there is a slope, and the river is flowing from the higher slope to lower slope area. Then this river will bring some of the sediment. From the Himalayan section there will be sediment to the plain of India. जैसा आप जानते होंगे कि हिमालय से जो नदियाँ निकलती है वो अपने साथ जलोढ़ को लेकर आती है. And there are different size of pebbles, mud, sandstone brought to the plain of India, and it create different topography on the surface of plain of India. So this topography, the surface has different name, जिसे आप देखेंगे. देखेंगे कि अगर ये पहाड़ का एरिया है, this is a mountain area, and we are going to the plain of India, then you will have deposits of boulders and pebbles near the foothills of mountain. So this is named as Bhambar. Bhambars. You can also in Hindi, its name is Bhambar. So near the foothill of Himalaya, from the Himalayan section, the large pebbles, boulders are coming to deposit to the foothills area. And in this area, we'll find the river will not flow on the top of that area. The river will flow between the rocks area or underground area. That is why the term is named as a Bhambar. So you will find south of Sibalik, there is a line of, a strip of Bhambar from Punjab to Assam area. So the region will have the deposits of boulders and pebbles. So the first deposit is Bhambar. So पहली संरचना देखेंगे कि जहाँ पर पर्वतीय क्षेत्र से मैदानी क्षेत्र पर आने के बाद छोटे छोटे पत्थर्स बोल्डर्स का जमाव होगा, उस एरिया को हम भांबर कहेंगे. सो गॉट इट वेरी क्लियरली, पहला एरिया जो होगा वो भांबर होगा. नाउ फाइंड आउट द एरिया जहाँ पे वी हैव द डिपॉजिट्स ऑफ particles or sand particles or the muds there, and the river coming to the surface area after Bhambar region. So we'll have permanent stagnation of water in that area. The long time there is a deposition of water, a stagnation of water, and that area is commonly known as Tarai region. उस क्षेत्र को हम तराई प्रदेश कहते हैं. And we are very fortunate, we have a very local area in UP and Bihar close to Nepal border, and like Gorakhpur, and we have Sitamarhi in Bihar, and these areas are named as very close region of Nepal and named as Tarai region. So in this area we'll have stagnation of water also, the good source of water from Himalaya area. Sometime it is affected by flood also. Right. So this is a southern area of Bhambar region. Now see, you have the common word. I am coming to the common discussion you may have seen in different parts of India. Suppose river is flowing in this middle part there, and there is a deposition of sand particle close to river bank, and one deposition is away from the river bank. One is very close to the river bank, one is away from the river bank. Once it is away from the river bank, the area is named as Bangar. In Hindi it is also the Bangar. I have used not a British name, it is Bangar. So Bangar is the coarse alluvial soil or deposited soil coming from Himalaya, and it is an old one, very coarse one, so a less fertile soil in a major part of India, the plain of India. In a close area, it is Khadar. So Khadar is a fertile soil close to the river bank, and in major part of India will find between the near the bank of different rivers. So plain of India, in particularly Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, will find the deposition of Khadar there. Got that? So I have started journey from Himalaya. Now I am going to the southeastern section, and as we move from Punjab to Bengal, we find different depositional surface. First we find Doabs there, then we find the Bhambar area, then Tarai, then we have Bangar and Khadar as a sequence of topography, and it is due to the deposition of sediment of different size, right? One very particular thing about the deposition brought from Himalaya, will find in everywhere it is coming from Sivalik. So Sivalik has very huge amount of limestone. Whenever this deposit is coming to plain of India, the soil of India has good amount of lime, and that is why this soil is a basic soil in nature, become very useful for a quality food grain production. So these deposits which is coming from Himalayan section are very useful for our agriculture purpose, for our daily economic development. So from that area now come to southern section. If you see the location here like this, then we find first Doab. We have 5 Doab from south to north. You can arrange. You can message in box. Can you arrange from south to north? Anyone? What are the name of Doab from south to north? Do arrange. It's better to arrange. You can see the learning you can have by going through this lectures. The first is southern section is a Beast Doab. Then we have Bari Doab, Rachna Doab, Jach and Sindhu Sagar Doab. In this way we can remember the information. Got that? After that, in this area we find one strips of area where I am giving you only the name. You can write in message. This is a area. Then we have B region, a C region. What can be the name for the deposition coming from Himalayan section? I think the first it will be a Bhambar. Then you will have Bangar. Then you have a Khadar close to the river bank. Got that? Now see, near the bank of or near the mouth of river, you will find deposition of sediment. And the fine sediment are very useful for agriculture purpose. Got that? Beast, Bari, Rachna, Jach, Sindhu, Sagar, Ashwini. Okay, good. So in this way, be interactive whenever we take class. Be interactive and do response. It will give you energy to yourself also and me also, right? So whenever we communicate, we find that something you are learning from this class. So try to see, this is a Doab area, and now we have the location of some of the deposits. First is Bhambar, a very coarse area. Then you have Bangar, the old alluvial soil. And the next one is a Khadar area. Now come to the end area. Some of the person is telling about the civil services. I'm telling you, very unique thing about the syllabus of UPSC and UPPCS. If you see my first lecture, go for my first lecture, both the commission has written in prelims examination 3 words for your syllabus. One is physical, second is human, and third one economic. The 3 words for world and India in both commission. Got that? So syllabus is equal. We are to study the physical aspect, human aspect, and economic aspect of India also and world also in detail for both commission. There is not a single word difference for prelims examination, right? And this year the question, nature of question was very good in reference to the regional geography. Got that? So be with class, do analyze the area. We'll have better time at the time in the time of examination. So now coming to the last area, I'm telling you, the last section, the plain of India. Suppose one river is coming to the last plain area. As the river is flowing from mountain area to a plain area, the volume of river will increase. So velocity of river will decrease. As volume is maximum, size is maximum, the velocity will decrease. So in this process, it will be deposition of sediment on the way of river, near the path of river, and there will be different channels from the main river, or you can say it is distributaries. Got that? So try to learn this area. One is major river, and number of rivers are coming to meet this river in a upper course of river. Then it is named as tributaries. Some of the rivers are bifurcating from the main river in the lower course are named as distributaries. In Hindi we can say vitrikaye. In upper course it's a sahayak nadiyan, that is tributaries and distributaries. So if you find the example of distributary, will have Hooghly river of Ganga. In the upper course, you find that Ghagra, Gandak, Kosi, all are the tributaries. And in the lower course, there are number of rivers separating from main river are the example of distributaries. Hooghly is one of the distributary of Ganga, right? So I'm telling you, in the lower course, there is a blocking of course of river by the deposition of sediment. So number of distributaries will develop from the larger river to a smaller river and a smaller river to channels also. And finally, in this area we'll find the sedimentation of sand particles and alluvial brought by the rivers. So finally, this will shape up as a deposited structure near the mouth of a river. We say it is delta, right? So in delta, there will be different parts. One will be channels, one will distributaries there, and deposition of sediment. Later on, the area will be developed as a fertile area, a very useful area. So we'll find in the eastern part of India, the Himalayan rivers are coming, deposition take place, and the final topography develop that is named as delta. Now it's very clear from Punjab to Bengal. I have given you different terms. Again, I would like to finish from here. See, I have given the name of Doabs. The first topography in a plain of India is Doab. The second one is Bhambar. Bhambar is a second topography. The third you have, that is Bangar. The fourth one is Khadar. And the last topography near the mouth of river, that is a delta. So delta, sometimes they ask you the detail of delta also, but understanding of delta is a part of principle of geography, is a part of physical geography. We'll discuss later on the detail of this section in a very detailed sense in principle of geography section. So my motive was to give you the detail of plain of India. I have divided the physiography of India into 6 parts. In today's lecture, I have discussed about the plain of India, and next day it will be the large section of India. I would like to go for mountains of India, because that area is a vital area. This year also in your examination, UPPCS examination, 2 questions asked, and UPSC also. There are every year there is a question from physiography section, northern mountain area. So next day section, I will discuss about the major 2 physiographic region of India, maybe mountain and peninsular India, right? So we can have a discussion tomorrow at the same time. So students, I am telling you, whenever you fix a target for yourself, there must be a high target for yourself. Suppose it's not a philosophy, what I'm not telling about for the motivation purpose, but for accurate study area. So whenever we go for a study, we try to score 100%. 100% means go for the content with all efforts. All the information, all the details should be in a notebook. Read many of books if you like to go for the reference book. For UPSC, I would like to go for a single quality book, right? One quality book, NCERT book also sufficient, and one class note. Suppose I am preparing a class notes for you, right? So this class note will be a vital for you for answering all the questions related to that. For BPSC also and UPPCS, I have framed a network, one syllabus for, one program for all of you. You can see in my channel on YouTube also, I have framed 2020. For BPSC, there are 20 prelims questions from the forum geography section. And after going through the whole course of geography, इसके पूरी course को करने के बाद, you will be able to solve 20 out of 20 from all the section. See, there they asked all the questions from 4 book of NCERT, class 11 and 12. So it's easy to be the master of 4 book, right? Plus Bihar. Here we are to follow 35 out of 35. Why 35 out of 35? Because 20 question is from geography section and 15 question is from environment and ecology, right? So once you have very good command over geography and environment ecology, you can solve all the questions related to this section. And it is possible by analyzing all the information, knowing the things in better way, writing good notes, right? And go for many of class tests or MCQ test. So in coming some years, you will have some month, you will have total command over the content area. Not years, but some month you will have very good command over the areas. Got that? मैंने ये कहा कि हमने 2 योजनाओं को लाया है, आप देखेंगे यूट्यूब पर भी और अन्य जगहों पर भी, मैं हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ आपसे, कि बिहार के लिए हमने लाया है 2020 प्रोग्राम्स. इट मीन्स बिहार में 20 क्वेश्चंस पीसीएस में होते हैं, आपको प्रीलिम्स का हिस्सा. उसमें अगर आप क्लास 11 और 12 के सभी एनसीईआरटी को कर लेते हैं, देन आप 20 में 20 क्वेश्चन आंसर दे सकते हैं. हमने यहाँ पे 35 प्रोग्राम्स बनाया था कि 35 आउट ऑफ 35 हम कैसे सॉल्व करें, राइट? इन प्रीवियस लेक्चर, सम लेक्चर्स में आपने देखा होगा कि हमने 35 बताया था. अब देखो, कोई भी व्यक्ति 35 आउट ऑफ 35 करने की स्थिति में होता जरूर है, कुछ गलती हो जाता है. In that condition also, if you score 34, then you will feel that you are one of the champion of objective examination. So go for holistic understanding of area, go for all out understanding area, the learning of all contents area, and finally you will be the master of your subject, right? इन सारे शब्दों के साथ मैं चाहूँगा कि आज के सेक्शन को यहाँ क्लोज करूँ. कल 2 सेशन है हमारे. ये सेशन, फर्स्ट सेशन में मैं उस सेक्शन में वेस्ट एशिया को पढ़ा रहा हूँ, पश्चिम एशिया को. उस सेक्शन में पश्चिम एशिया में जो सेक्शन बचा हुआ है उसे पूरा करूँ और दक्षिण पूर्व एशिया के देशों को डिटेल से पढ़ाऊँ. जो आपको म्यांमार से फिलीपींस तक है, उन सभी को डिटेल से पढ़ें. और इंडियन ज्योग्राफी में कल हम टोपोग्राफी ऑफ इंडिया, नॉर्दर्न माउंटेन और इस सेक्शन को करेंगे, पेनिनसुलर इंडिया को. आप सभी को सुनने के लिए धन्यवाद, पेशेंस से रहने के लिए धन्यवाद. और इन सभी सेक्शन को करके उम्मीद है आप भी लाभान्वित होंगे और हमें भी इन सारी चीज़ों से इंस्पिरेशन मिलेगा. थैंक यू, धन्यवाद आप सभी को.